am so excited because today is the day that I go and pick all of the design options in the house. I might try to show you guys like a little bit inside the design center, but yeah, I'm just, oh. Stuff like this excites me because I get to pick out carpet and cabinets and paint and flooring and tile and backsplash, and it's how you know you grown when you get excited about stuff like that. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, I just pulled up. Let's go get it done, and I'm gonna share everything that I selected with you guys. But you'll just have to wait to actually see it when we do the house tour.
There's a feeling in my soul, can't defeat it. I lose control on your marks. Get set, are you ready to go? Give me meaning when I'm low, when I'm bleeding. You push me on your marks. Get set, are you ready to go? There's fire in our love. Fire in our love.
Okay guys, so I'm back home and I am actually going to now show you everything that I picked. It was such an exciting experience to just be able to pick out everything that I wanted to go into the house. Let's start with the interior first, and as I'm talking through the interior, then I can kind of tell y'all about what I picked for the exterior as well, or for the structural upgrades. Let's talk floors. These are the floors that I picked. Don't mind my nails, I just did a new set and my nails are still kind of wet. What I love about this is these look like wood floors, don't they? Well, I can tell you that they are not wood floors. They're actually porcelain floors. And these will be the planks that go throughout the entire house, except for in the bedrooms. I went ahead and got carpet in there because I actually had wood floors in my entire house in my last house that I just sold earlier this year. And I could definitely tell you that because of the rugs and everything that I have in like my master, I just didn't really see the point in having wood floors throughout the entire house. Plus, I don't like getting out of bed and hitting cold floor immediately with my feet. And then on top of that, when you have wood floors in the bedroom stays cooler. But these are the wood floors I went through out with the rest of my house. Is this beautiful taupe grayish brown, like, so they're gonna do these at an offset. So these are just so pretty. I'm so excited about the floors. And then this is actually the floor that I picked for my shower. This is the master shower flooring. This is a herringbone. What I love about it is it reminds me of chevron pattern. I am obsessed with chevron pattern. It's so beautiful. The reason why I have it up against this here is so that you can see the wall tile. It pulls out the color from the wall tile that'll be in the shower, grayish tones in the wall shower. I wanted to go with something more white on the walls so that it would feel like airy and bright. And don't mind all of this, like, this is not anything that I picked. This is just the countertop that all the samples were laid on. This is the carpet. So I went with like a grayish carpet in the bedrooms. I love this carpet. This is actually an upgrade. Like, everything was an upgrade. Everything you see that I picked was an upgrade. None of this was standard, and that's why it's like this selection process was crazy. Like, every time I picked something, I was like, how much is it? What is it gonna cost? Like, what are we looking at now? Because it was just so crazy picking all these upgrades. Everything that looked good was an upgrade. So let's go back to the kitchen. So these are the cabinets that I went with. I told y'all I wanted everything white and bright in the kitchen. Well, when I got to picking everything in the kitchen, I wanted to make sure the countertops was white. That was really important to me. And my house that I sold this year, when I renovated it, I put these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful countertops. So these are the counters that I had put in the kitchen when I renovated my house. And these were so beautiful. Like, you see how it's all sparkly? I can tell you that when this countertop is under those recessed LED can lights in the kitchen, it is the most gorgeous thing you have ever seen. It just sparkles. This was a quartzite. Oh, I just love it. I miss it so much. So when I got to picking for the kitchen on this house, I had to go with something that was white. So I went with this white granite that they have. Of course, it didn't have all the beautiful sparkles that I want, but it is still very, very pretty. So this is the countertop that goes in the bathroom. It's a little bit more speckled than the one in the kitchen. This is a granite and this is a quartz. And then this is the backsplash that I went with. In the kitchen, it's that same herringbone design that's going in the bathroom. And it's also going to go on the fireplace surround. So what I love about this is like really shiny, but because everything was so white in the kitchen, from the countertops to the backsplash, when I put the white cabinets up against that, it was just too white. So I had to kind of balance it out, and so I went with the lightest gray they had, which was this one. Now this one was like the in-between design. They had one that was really more contemporary. Let me see if I can show y'all. So literally like this. It would have looked like this if I went with a contemporary one. But I actually want to go with something that had just a little bit more character. Even though contemporary is so pretty, I really think that is just like a right now thing, because everybody's going contemporary with everything. I just wanted to go with something that was a little bit more traditional, but not like they had one that was more traditional than this, but I like this one because it's not really contemporary, not really truly traditional, but still very classic, timeless. So I went with this design, and then I went with this color. Now this color looks white, but when you put it up against just any white counter, this is a light gray. It's the lightest gray that they had. I always like the darker gray cabinets, but like I said, I want my kitchen white and bright, so I went with the lightest gray that they had. So that's that. And then these are the fan blades that I went with, and I like that it complements the flooring that's gonna go in the living room. And putting this flooring in the living room was actually another upgrade. Like standard, it was carpet in the living room, but I wanted to carry these all the way through because it's gonna be perfect for resale value. People just like that look, and it's more cohesive. It's more grandiose, if I could say. I did go ahead and select these cabinet pulls, this one and this one. So these for the actual drawers and these for the cabinets. I like a smaller handle on the cabinet. I really don't use my entire hand to open the cabinets. I use my entire hand to open the drawers, so it made more sense for me to have long pulls on the drawers and shorter pulls on the cabinet. I think it just adds a little bit more character instead of everything being exactly the same on every single pull. And so these are brushed nickel, really pretty. I just want to keep everything like stainless type look, because all my appliances are stainless. Everything but the sink is stainless. This is the sink that I went with. I went with Farmhouse. They are expensive, okay? Quadruple the price versus going with like a stainless steel sink, a one bowl, which is, even the one bowl stainless steel is an upgrade, but this one is like quadruple the price of doing that. But I'm really excited about this because this apron here is, you know, instead of it is under mounted, but you get this whole apron on the outside of the sink as well. So instead of having just millwork, because I was going to have a cabinet drawer here that tilted out. Drawers under the sink don't typically open, but they do have options where you can have them tilt out. You put sponges and stuff like that in there. Instead of getting that, because I'm getting the apron sink, I can't get that. But I just really love the apron sink. The apron sink is just so classic. It's so timeless. It's a showstopper. It's like the center. Like when you walk in the kitchen, it draws your eyes to it. It looks beautiful when you drape like a towel or something over it, or when you lay flowers in there. to cut your stems and things like that. Like, this is the perfect sink. It's wide. It's like 3 feet wide going this way, and then like almost a foot deep on the inside. I am in love with this sink, and I cannot wait to see it in that kitchen. Fireplaces, let's see, these are all the different options, but this is the one that will be in my design. I love how contemporary it is. Like, I thought that I would pick something more traditional, but I just love how this looked. Like, look how white and bright it is, and then with that chevron or herringbone backsplash that's gonna go all through the surround, it's just gonna look so pretty. The sun's going in and out, so the exposure is getting like dark. This is the stove that I went with, so I'm really excited about this stove. There was an option where I could have went with a built-in stove built into the cabinet, and this oven would have been separate, but this here is one unit, and the reason why I went with this unit is because their built-in option wasn't, even though it looks great, it's not special. If I'm gonna get a built-in option, I would literally want to just have the gas top stove on top and then have like drawers underneath where I can put like pots and pans and spices and things like that in all of the drawers under the stove, because it literally would just be a gas top. But this particular builder, their option was to put the stove right underneath the built-in, so they would have been separate, and I just didn't really see the point in paying thousands of dollars more to have that when I could just do this and still have that same look. So what I really like about this is it's one unit, still gives you that same kind of look because it doesn't have that lip on the back of the stove. I really don't like the lip on the back of the stove. That's where, you know, where you have all the dials, the clock and temperature gauges and all of that. I just really didn't want that lip, and so I'm glad that I got this stove because everything's here and you still kind of get that same kind of look. But what I like about this particular stove is the window on the door is really, really big. It's a lot bigger than most other ovens that I've seen. And then also one of the racks on the inside of it is a deep rack. And so instead of moving racks around, there's a rack that has like a really deep dip in it, so you can put big pots like cast iron Dutch ovens and things like that in there when you're cooking. Really, really so convenient, especially like when you're cooking for the holidays and things like that. So I'm really excited about this stove. So this is the paint color that I picked. So it's like a really light gray. Definitely wanted to keep cool tones. You can see that's the theme of this house. I'm so excited about it. It's so pretty. These are all these little tiles right here, like the grout that I picked to go in. I had to pick different grout colors. There's so many other things that I picked. An extended patio outside. That was an upgrade. I also picked adding LED lights in the living room. That was another upgrade. Originally, I had also picked adding pendant lights in the kitchen, but upon second thought, like, I just didn't really see a point in that because I don't have pendant lights in my kitchen now. My kitchen is huge. I have the biggest island I've ever seen in my kitchen right now, and I don't have pendant lights, and I don't miss them. And in the house that I just renovated and sold, I took the pendant lights out of that kitchen and replaced them with recessed LED lights, and the kitchen was so much brighter, so much prettier, and I didn't miss the pendant lights at all. And so for me, pendant lights are really just an aesthetic thing. Yes, they provide light right over the place setting if you're eating at the bar, and they look great, but they don't really do anything, especially if you already have LED overhead can lights in the kitchen, which this house does. So I took those out because that was an upgrade. I also added, the rocker switches, because regular light switches are just the flip-on switches. So I added the rocker switches. That was a must. I have a toddler and he turns on the lights easily with those rocker switches. If I switched them to the regular switch, he wouldn't really be able to reach them without having to go get a stool. I was going to select outdoor fans, but because it's something that I could do later. So anything that I could do later, I kind of almost didn't do it. I think the rocker switches, because I looked at how those are installed later and it was this big, just a big hoopla. So I was like, no, let them do that now. A floor outlet in the living room. I thought that was so important. So they're going to put a brass electric electric outlet in the floor in the living room. I had to pick that as a structural upgrade because they have to actually pour the concrete around that. That's not something you could do later. The utilities, if you know anything about construction, it has to be stubbed up out of the ground before they come and set the forms and the rebar to pour the concrete. Like, they have to pour around all of that stuff. So I went ahead and selected that as an upgrade so they could do that. That way I can plug in a lamp in the middle of the floor, I could plug in a charger in the middle of the floor, and I don't have to run the cord all the way to the wall and have a tripping hazard across the floor. So that was so important to me. I've always wanted that. So anything that I've always wanted in my old house, I went ahead and did it in this house. Trying to do it later is tens of thousands of dollars and just not worth it. You might as well move and buy a new house. So I just went ahead and did those things. So those were the selections that I made. I did upgrade to this dishwasher. The one that comes with the house, it was stainless steel, but it had like a black lip on it, and then the inside wasn't stainless steel. It was like a light gray. And what I've noticed about dishwashers that are not stainless steel on the inside, they get really dirty and grungy and they don't last as long. So this was more comparable to the dishwasher that I had put in the kitchen that I renovated in the house that I sold. So I wanted to go with something comparable. Another thing about this dishwasher is it has the top tray. So you have like the bottom tray, the middle tray, but it also has like thin little tray that you can pull out and just put like utensils and stuff up there. And I also went with this faucet for the farmhouse sink. I have this faucet now, and I had also put this faucet in the house that I renovated, and I'm in love with this look. I don't know what it is. It's just gorgeous to me. So I went with that one as well. So this is what I was talking about when I was talking about offset. Like, they offset it. The wall tile in the bathroom, they're offsetting the flooring. I also upgraded to this frosted pantry door, and then just a lot of other little things here and there, but y'all will just have to see the finished house tour. My next update is going to be the groundbreaking, I believe, because we're going to get started on construction soon. So I'm really excited, guys. Just stay tuned.